Okay, folks, in our next tutorial, we are going to create external hyperlinks within a web page. You'll notice that I still have my my HTML shell in there, and everything that I'm doing, I'm putting inside of my body tag. So to create a hyperlink, first off, we have to start off with our anchor tag. A hyperlink tag is an anchor tag, an A tag, and then I'm going to put a space. Now, if we were to just put an A tag and that be it, it wouldn't work because we have to specify what website we're going to. Okay, so for that we are going to need an attribute. So anytime we have a tag and we have something else inside of it, something equals something, it's called an attribute. So the attribute for our anchor tag is going to be an href, which stands for hyperlink reference or hypertext reference, I believe. And now we're going to put our path. What are we linking to? http :// //. So if I want to link to Google or anything, I just put the path to that particular address or that address, and then I close it with a bracket. Then I have to close my anchor tag. There we go. And I save it, so Control S. And if I come back and refresh my page, you're not going to see any difference. Okay, that's because I'm missing one critical piece. I'm missing the anchor text. So we have our anchor and we have our closing anchor, but we don't have our anchor text. That's what goes between the opening and closing anchor tag, and this is what we're actually going to click on. That's what a user clicks on when they go to a link. So this is Google. Save it again, Control S. Now when I come back and refresh, you will see this is Google. Now if I click on this is Google, you'll see that it takes me to Google. All right. So that's how you create a hyperlink, and it is that simple. Now for a little terminology, you need to understand these parts. First, you have your tag. The A, the anchor, is the tag itself. The second component is href. The href is your attribute. It gives an attribute or additional information about that tag. You'll see it in the images as well. You'll see it actually quite often. And then anytime that you have an attribute, you have to have a value to that attribute. So tag, attribute, and value. Okay. Also notice, let me click down before you so you can see it a little bit easier, that the attribute, that the value of the attribute is always in quotation marks. We open quotes and we close quotes. Common mistake that students will make is they will open a quote and then they'll forget to close it. You cannot do that. You have to make sure that you open it and close it, because that tells the browser where the value starts and ends. If you never close that quotation mark, then everything from there on out is the value. So we have to make sure that we close it. So close. Oops, and I put two of them in there accidentally. Notepad++ tried to fix it. Whenever you start a quote, it knows that you have to end one. So just be careful not to have Notepad++ make a mistake when it's actually trying to help you. Another nice thing about Notepad++ is you'll notice that it is color coded. The tag is blue, the attribute is red, and the value shows up as kind of purple, and apparently it recognizes it as a link. And then the last piece is the anchor text. So, or the next to the last piece is the anchor text. The very last piece is the closing tag. So if I were to ask you to diagram this one last time: tag, then we go to the attribute, then we go to the value, then we have the anchor text, and then we have the closing tag. There are 5 pieces to a tag. All right. Please feel free to pause this if you need to write any of it down to try it yourself. Please go ahead and do that. All right. Okay, once we have the tag, attribute, and value in there, the next thing that we need to do is we're going to add one more piece to it. And the only thing that I don't like about this, let me go ahead and save it, come back and click. The only thing that I don't like is that when I click on the link, it takes me away from my web page and it takes me to Google, which when you're creating a link to another website, you want to go to that website, but I don't want to take the user away from my website. So what I'm going to do is within the anchor tag, I'm going to put a space, and I'm going to put another attribute in there. It's going to be target equals underscore blank. Okay. So Yeah, we can have more than one attribute and value in there, and whenever we have an attribute, we have to have a value. So we have the attribute of href, which tells it where to go, and then we have another attribute which tells it that the underscore blank is just that's the term that you use to make it show up in a new window, all right, or a new tab. So if I were to save this, come back and refresh it again. Now when I click, what you're going to find is that I'm going to stay on this page, but it's going to open up Google in another tab. So click right there, and you'll notice I still have my page up, and now I have Google open in a different tab. Okay, so that's how you create a hyperlink and have it open up in a new window. All right. Now the last little piece that I will give you is how can, no, actually I'm going to wait on that. I was going to show you how to put an image in there. I'll go ahead and explain it. All that you do is you put your image right here, but you haven't done the image tutorial yet, so we'll get to that. Whatever is between the anchor tag, the opening and closing anchor tag, is going to be your anchor. So we'll go ahead and end with that, and if you have any questions, please let me know.